Hello, my name is Casey, Casey's Laughing Mark. Today I'd like to talk to you about science and storytelling, and how the two can be intertwined to make a greater whole. All sorts of movements because I don't believe in sitting still. In the story you are going to be a tree.
Take up all the space.
You are going to be a house. Now the house crooked, the tree in the house has great big roots and makes the house crooked. Make the house crooked. And I went to the house and I opened up the front door and it squeaked loud as loud can be. 1, 2, 3. There next to the door, boy, was a shovel. And I grabbed the shovel and I ran to the tree and I dug. And I dug. And I dug. Until there was a huge hole. And there in the bottom of the huge hole was a huge wooden chest with a great big metal padlock. And I held the shovel up above my head. And on the count of 3, I broke off the lock with a great big loud clang. 1, 2, 3. And he reached down and he opened up the chest. And there in the bottom of the chest was gold. And jewels. And oddly enough, a dozen donuts from Krispy Kreme. It was a dream, boy. Well, the peddler of this knew he had to get home as fast as he possibly could, so he left for home. They went uphill and downhill. And uphill and downhill. And uphill and downhill. And along the way, he saw frogs. And he saw dogs. And he saw snakes. You're around too much together. So finally, he got all the way home to his central house, next to a great big tree with great big roots that made the house crooked. And he ran to the house and he opened up the door and it squeaked even louder than I remembered. 1, 2, 3. And with the shovel he always kept there. And he ran to the tree and he dug. And he dug. And he dug. And so there was a huge hole. And there in the bottom of the hole was a huge wooden chest with a great big metal padlock. And he held the shovel above his head. And on the count of 3 he broke off the lock with a great big loud clang. 1, 2, 3. And he opened up the chest.
I'm so weak.
And there in the bottom of the chest was gold and jewels. And oddly enough, a dozen donuts from Krispy Kreme. And the peddler got filthy, stinking, rich. Cha-ching! The moral of the story, guys, never ever give up on your dreams because you never can tell when they might come true. The I didn't have the legs to be wearing no grass skirts, so I started trying to think of other places I could go. Now, I wasn't exactly sure where I wanted to go, so I started thinking, while I was thinking, I did what all little boys do when they have a piece of paper. I started folding it up and making myself a paper airplane, thinking if I can't figure out where I want to go, at least I can fly to the sun, because at least that'll be warm. Once I got it folded, I realized it looked kind of like a pyramid, and that got me thinking about Egypt. When that got me thinking about Egypt, I started thinking about those pyramids, and those pyramids have been around for thousands of years. Egypt would be great. I mean, it's warm, it's sunny. Not too many grass skirts I'd have to wear. It'd be just about perfect. But then I thought about what happens when you camp in the sand. If you've ever camped in the sand, no matter how careful you are, you'll set up your tent, put your sleeping bag inside. You be careful, try not to get the sand in there. But the sand will get into your tent, and then it'll get into your sleeping bag, and then somehow it crawls up your jeans and into your underwear. And there is nothing worse in this world than walking around with sand in your clothes.
So, people think it's
started thinking about other places I might want to be. And as I thought about it, I thought about the pyramids again. They've been closed up for 2,000 years. They went ahead and kept the mummies in and the grave robbers out. It sounded like a perfect place for me, but the pyramids were made for pharaohs. They weren't made for little boys. So I took my piece of paper and I folded up one side just like so, and the other side like so. So I had myself a pharaoh's hat. And I put it up on top of my head, and I walked up to the security guards at the pyramids and I said,
"My name is Casey. I am Pharaoh. Lord and King, let me into my tomb."
and they did. And I had a great time, and I was running through the pyramids, and I was chasing mummies, and mummies were chasing me. And I was picking up dung beetles and putting them in my pocket so I could slide them in my brother's breakfast cereal because they looked kind of like raisins. I wasn't a very nice brother. And I would have stayed there all summer long, except I heard a siren out in front of my house. And the only thing more boring than my backyard was the town that surrounded my backyard. Nothing happened. If a cat got stuck up in a tree, literally everybody in town went to the tree, looked up and talked about the cat. There's a cat up in the tree, eh? Yep. It's an orange cat. Yep.
Is it Garfield?
Garfield.
It's a cat.
It's Garfield.
What's up, Gardy? Is it Gary?
Hi, Gardy.
I miss all
Yeah, continue, guys, if I gotta talk over top of you. And so, they'd stand there and stare out and do absolutely nothing. Well, when I heard that siren, I knew I had to go and find out what was going on. So I ran and I peeked around the corner of my house, and that's when I saw the fire truck going around the corner. Now its tires were squealing. Firemen were holding on for dear life. Little black and white dog doing backflips on the back of it. And I wasn't entirely sure why, but I decided right then and there I didn't want to be a pharaoh anymore. I wanted to be a fireman. So I took off walking down the road. As I got walking down the road, I folded my piece of paper so I had myself a diamond with a point at the top and a point at the bottom, and I popped up one side. Just like so, popped it up, got myself a fireman's hat, put it on my head, and went running down, and they handed me an axe. Well, folks, there you have it. Science and storytelling melded together in one. That's what Casey's Laugh and Learn is all about. Taking science and storytelling and making it palatable. Getting kids to understand that science is not about dry fact and memorization. Science is about creativity. Science is about finding out just what happened at the end of the story. Thanks, folks, and I hope to see you in school.